forces like Madison. Next slide. He also says it's a collective, not an individual right. Now I'm speaking a little off the cuff here, but I think what those Virginia and Kentucky resolutions were trying to do is get other states to join on with them so they could collectively push back, probably through a convention, these Alien and Sedition Acts that those two thought were unconstitutional. But anyway, he goes and he says, the interposition of the states for arresting the evil of usurpation again was meant a concurring authority, not that of a single state. So what you see here is collective and can be used to battle an out of control federal government, a federal government that no longer cares about you. Next slide. So he calls it another metaphor. He calls it powder under the Constitution. He says, what more dangerous than nullification, or more evident than the progress it continues to make, either in its original shape or in the disguises it assumes? Nullification has the effect of putting powder under the Constitution and Union and a match in the hand of every party to blow them up at pleasure. Okay? Next slide. He even says it's less legitimate than secession. So if we got any Texas people in here, he's actually saying, y'all are a little more correct than the nullification crowd. He says, look, the rightful remedy of a state in an extreme case would be separation from the Union, not resistance to authority while remaining in it. Next slide. All right. Now, practically speaking, there's too much to nullify. You're going to nullify everything that comes out of Congress that's unconstitutional? That's not going to happen. Okay, you can't possibly keep pace with all the unconstitutional laws coming out of Washington. Go forward for me one, please. Okay, so what could you do? If you love nullification, honestly, I like the idea of nullification. I like the idea of saying that law actually doesn't exist anymore and we all recognize it has no power. Well, there's a constitutional path to nullification, and it's in Article 5. You could amend the Constitution to provide for state-led nullification. Here's an example. You could say 34 states or maybe 30 states could actually nullify a federal law or a Supreme Court decision. You could write that into the Constitution, and now you don't have a showdown with the federal government anymore. Now they say, yeah, you got us, okay? And go forward one. Congress wouldn't even try to pass junk legislation if you had a nullification amendment in the Constitution, because the states would probably signal already. They'd say, look, you try to pass that Obamacare thing, we're going to swat that down. That's not going to get anywhere. And so the Congress wouldn't even try. So you'll stop bad law before it even gets enacted. So you're not playing whack-a-mole anymore. You're killing it at the source. Okay? So state-led nullification, plug for the Convention of States organization, state-led nullification is germane under our application. So we could do this today, or, next slide, we could wait for Congress to propose it. All right? Who wants to do that? Let's wait around and maybe Congress will propose an amendment to allow us to repeal the law.
Y'all should all vote for Beto. Vote for Beto. How are you?